Hey yo, this is another episode of the Steven from the Old Time Podcast. Listen to my dad, he's awesome.
Hey yo, what's up, you dirty little bastards? Welcome to a new episode of the All Time Podcast. I am Dean Milenko, the worst video podcast editor you ever seen, but the best French Canadian accent since Celine. And I'm with my maid men tonight. Please.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm not just good. I'm not just the best. I'm the greatest there is, the greatest there was, and the greatest there ever will be. And I'm here in 2026 to save everyone from these terrible podcasts. The messiah of podcasting himself, Derek Alltime.
I love being number 3 on the podcast. It's amazing. You know what's crazy is that Malenko had one of the best intros of the last 5 years. So let me break it to you down this way. I am the Ayatollah of hip hop, the whole damn show, and the Rated R podcaster. Please take it away, Mr. Host.
I'm not Mr. Host, but we'll continue. And I just want to salute to everyone that's been listening with us, all the all-timers and been there for day one. Thank you. Welcome back. We are now on 4K. Know what I mean? We upgraded.
It looks good, huh?
HD, baby.
We started with the little camera on team, and here we are now.
We still
and
have those
for the
cameras.
new listeners, and you just got here, the algorithm got you here. You know why? Because you like reviews and you like hip hop. And guess what?
And white boys.
We do both. Pause.
We do all three.
We do both over here. So thank you and welcome back. So for today, we have planned a little show. 2025 just finished. But you know why? You know what? I still want to give a little peek to it, bring some new subjects. We're going to go a little bit deeper, just bring some subjects that we never talked about before. So first of all, we're in the first weeks of January. How much your list changed already? Steven.
Malenko, before we get into this listing, I just got to say I love and I got to give you all the props in the world for you to be putting this episode together because this was all your idea.
Yep. Thank you.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I'm giving you the floor tonight. You're taking control of all this. And I'm sitting back in 2026 just chilling because I got a lot of stress on my hands. So props to you for putting this episode together.
No problem,
you asked
man.
me the question of how much did my list change? Let me be honest with you. My list changed drastically.
Yeah, your number one changed probably 5 times already.
No, my number 1 is Vegas 7.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
Okay.
It's never changing. But I said that my cutoff date is the 15th, right?
And then Mickey
then-
released.
Mickey released. We did a review last week. Mickey Diamond and Big Ghost Wolf tickets. And I'm telling you, I cannot get that off my rotation. Mickey Diamond and Big Ghost Wolf tickets. Look, I don't want to put it in my top, but that album is incredible. It's in there. It's in the top 20. It has to be in the top 20. I lied to everybody. It sucks that I'm lying, but that album is just too great for it not to be on a list. And it sucks that we have a cutoff date. And it sucks that he gave us a Christmas gift.
You're the one with the cutoff date. You could change that cutoff date whenever you want. You're
No.
the one that put it on.
Look.
You don't like, I will not review an album after the 15th.
We're recording this on January 7th. Okay. It's going to be released on the Monday. Okay. Dude, Malenko, I can't wait to hear your opinion on that album because we never spoke about it, but it's just an incredible, well put together project.
Yeah, I mean, it brought the whole problematic to this stuff. I think we need to now do the end of the year review in January.
Yeah.
I think we need to do it end of January.
And
I
you
think
know-
we should officially change it because albums like that it was a big impact on the rap game in general. And him coming back and doing a quality album like that. I thought the same thing as Derek. We mentioned on the text message on the group that we have. I thought the same thing as Derek. Is the mixing the voice is going in and out. Some tracks you hear him clearly. Some tracks he sounds even heavier than he sounds usually. I don't know how he did, but it is. So that's the main problem I have with the album. But still, I enjoy it a lot. It's been in my rotation. For me, my top 10 list is pretty much solid. I think I wouldn't change anything on my 5, 6 first. Maybe just I would maybe add some Chabot. I would bring him a little bit down because I like him. It's heavy rotation for me, a little bit more than Evidence. Other than that, not much. Is the top 10s, and it's more in the 8, 9, 10. You know.
No, me it's 11 to 20.
Yeah, you're in your long
It's 11
list. That's
to
why
20.
it's complicated.
Well,
And
it's
that's-
because you approach all your lists with like a top 20 and then you sort of filter out through there. I approach my list as a top 10. And like Malenko said, that whole like those first 4, like the 10 to 6, that tends to fluctuate. Some weeks, depending on the sound that I want to listen to, sometimes that number 6 is number 9. And sometimes that number 10 is number 6. It fluctuates. You, in your case, it's your 20 to your 12.
Yeah, and something else I would add there would be the hidden character with the hidden splash, produced by Bone Hueso. That's a project that I keep going back to. That when I made my list, I was like, okay, where do I fit it in? I'm gonna leave it out of it, and now I'm listening to it, and I want to put it in maybe the 18th or the 17th spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just when you're making these lists, you're in the moment of making those lists. So you got everything on a board, right? You're breaking it down. You're moving things out. You're re-listening to projects. And you have an extra 15, maybe an extra 10 days afterwards. So it's kind of like more of the, shit, man, did I really forget something? Does this album really stand the test of time at this point?
I think we can also add to the fact that making these lists is difficult because we also have to factor in how the albums make us feel. And it's really hard to revisit how an album makes us feel 6, 7, 8 months later.
Exactly.
You know, like the reactions that we had to the Vega 7 is the kind of thing, luckily we were pretty much on it, but it's the kind of thing that you can forget since the album was released so early in the year. You don't have that excitement whenever you re-listen to that album or whenever you rediscuss that album.
And talking about an album that we give high scores that didn't make the list.
Yeah.
There's a couple of that I have. Vega 7 is one.
Yeah.
I give him on first listen, I love it. But is it something that I replay? Is the replay value really there for me? Not really. I'm not into that much of always taking those heavy content albums. Same for like a Chez Noir Superior album. Seeds in Babylon, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That album was fantastic. We
Yeah.
gave him you gave it a 10.
Yeah, that was my number 1 album.
Yeah, so it was a really great album, but is it on I'm not in the mood all the time to listen to a heaviness of that. I compare it to movies. You know, there's some great movies that you cannot watch all the time. They're so heavy, they're so moody, they can be super long. You're not down to watch Godfather every day of the week, you know?
But yeah, to your guys' point, man, there's like 2025 was an incredible year for hip hop. There was so many different releases. You were on a different level this year, Derek. Malenko, you were on a different level. There's things that I love that you did not enjoy as much, right? Like let's talk about the Clips album real quick. The Clips album, you had it at your number 1.
Yeah,
it's
solid.
not even in my top 20, but I love the record.
Yeah.
It's moody. It's a different mood. Like I'll put that on a day where I don't know what to listen to, and I'll pop on the Clips. You know what I mean? There's so like, dude, it's
But that's
just
the beauty about that album too is the fact that you could give that album to almost anyone off the street that has remotely listened to hip hop and they could get into something like that. And for me, we're going to talk about this a little later on in the episode. So like how we process, like what's our process when we go through this? And I think all three of us have a similar yet different process, or maybe our process is identical. Just I value certain things that's going to bring it above and certain things that are going to bring it really down. You guys might have a different opinion in terms of what you put the value on. And for me, as a new guy into hip hop, I do like, how does it make me feel? How can I give this to someone who's untrained and they can enjoy it? Do you make approachable music? I think for me, that's something that's really important because I want to be able, when I enjoy an album, to give it to someone and be like, hey, listen to this. Let me know what you think. And sometimes some albums, they're just they're just tough. Like Vega 7, as good as he is, I can't give that album to just anyone off the street.
No.
It's too much. The Clips album, I could give that to a lot of people in the street and they will find something to play in the car, play on repeat. They will learn the lyrics to something. So for me, like that's part of my whole evaluation process. You have a different one.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why like that Clips album was on my list. Is probably why it's not on your list. You know, there's so much coming out.
Derek, I didn't get the chance to ask you, is for the list when you were doing it, was it pretty easy this year, or did you have some struggles, some parts, or?
It was pretty easy for the most part.
Yeah.
It was pretty easy for the most part, I think. I think a lot of the albums that I put on my list were albums that I gave 8.5s and 9s to. There was the biggest challenge for me was that 10 to 6 or even the 10 spot. Like that 10 spot.
That 10 spot is the more difficult.
Because there's so much stuff that could be put in that 10 spot. And once again, it depends on the mood. So for me, whenever I had a hesitation, I just went on Spotify. I was like, which one of all the ones that I want to put at the 10 spot, which one that I listen to the most, which one that I keep revisiting, or which one came out in March, but I was still listening to it in July, August, September. And that's the one that I went to.
That's what happened to me. To me, I told you, Steven, but for me, the list was pretty easy to do. Like my top, when I thought about the list, my top 4 was done already. Top 5 was done already. So when I listened to Clips, I think I said it on the podcast, on the episode, but I knew that was an episode I'm going to listen. An episode. That's an album that I'm going to repeat all the time because of Malice. I think Malice, the verses, I think he has the best verses of the year. Definitely, and throughout the album. So just that album stuck with me. Then we have Pro Dillinger that stuck with me at first listen, and then to get the interview with him, shout out to Pro, it just give me even more. You know, like I liked it so much, the album, and I still, when I listen to it, I enjoy the first time. You was difficult, huh?
Man, a lot of people don't care about lists.
Yeah.
A lot of artists don't care that we do lists. I just find that it's necessary when I put my list together that I really give it thought. And I do it also to shine light on a bunch of artists, right? So I really calculate myself when I make my list. It was difficult for me because I intake so much hip hop music, and especially the lane that we review, or the lane that I could say that we're part of at this point. It's calculated, man. I want to go back to the albums numerous times. I want to see if I miss something. You know what I mean? If I listen to a certain album so much, let's say weekly or every 2 weeks, I want to put it aside and go listen to another album and go back to that album to see how I feel. So for me, it's always tough, but I'm always making lists. My life is revolved around making lists for everything. I go to the grocery store and I can make my top 5 favorite cereal lists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I hope so. If you don't have a list when you go to the grocery store in chronological order of what you want first, you're a savage. Get on
but
it.
again, it's personal. We do this on a personal level, right? But yes, it's very difficult for me.
So that brings me to my first subject that I wanted to bring, something for 2025 that we never did before, but I wanted to talk about albums that fall under the radar, something that we probably didn't review, that we loved, or maybe something we reviewed, didn't like it that much, and then it grew on us. I have a couple of albums that did that. If you guys want me to start, I'll start.
I want you to start.
Go for it.
And the worst is, you guys did the review. I wasn't there for this one, but the Mobb Deep album.
It's true. He wasn't there for that.
I wasn't there for that one, but guys, everywhere I heard on media, people didn't give it too much of a thought to it. People didn't really appreciate that much. I love it now. I love it. I love every album. Like the only song that really don't works for me is the that hook that I hate. And Trap hated to the B.
Yeah.
I hate that one.
That's
It's
very
Mobb Deep.
2004,
it's Mobb
2005.
Deep. Yeah,
That
no,
one's
that's
tough.
that
one's
cut
tough.
it, cut it.
Let's cut that rap. Let's cut that chorus, whatever you want to call it. We need to cut that from hip hop. It shouldn't come back.
And honestly, the album for me, it's a big win. The only thing, again, and I agree with you on this point, Avoc for me didn't bring it.
Nope.
Those verses for me were really buff, but the beats, Alchemist give him so many. That Magic song,
Yeah.
woo, too. I listen to it all the time. I loved it. I loved that album. That's one for me that I wish I was on the review.
The Mobb Deep record is a record for me that I needed to be comfortable with being able to listen to it. And I mention this all the time, being a Prodigy fan, just being a Mobb Deep fan, like trying to understand why this is coming out after the fact that he passed away and where do these verses come from. When I was comfortable with that and understanding it, that's when I was able to enjoy the album a lot more. But I love that record.
Yeah.
Love that record. What else do you have?
Another one you can.
Yeah.
I have the Bruiser Wolf. I told about it. I talked about it. I wish we'd have reviewed that. I wish Derek would hear that.
He would despise that. I don't even think he would understand it.
I don't think Bruiser Wolf with Harry Fraud, made by Dope, grew on me so much. And Harry Fraud, I think it's a big part of Harry Fraud because the last Bruiser Wolf project, I don't remember the name. It came out mid-year. I didn't really appreciate it. I liked the bits and bits, but not much replay value for me. But this, made by Dope, it's something fresh, it's something new. Harry Fraud is back in his pocket for me. Harry Fraud is the biggest, to me, hit or miss producer that I can get.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like he doesn't get it at all, and sometimes I love his stuff. So, yeah, that Bruiser Wolf, oh, what an album to me. Great album.
That's something that because of you, I listen to. But again, that's moody. It's a moody album. You need to be in the mood for that type of slang, that type of, like that rapping formula. That's moody. You can't listen to that every day. And I think somebody for you, like you, Derek, and I hate always bringing you, like putting you on the spot, but I think you're actually great for that, because being able to intake such a different aspect of hip hop into what Bruiser Wolf brings to the table is difficult, right? You can't just give somebody that. You can't just get somebody off the street and be like, here, you don't really listen to hip hop, you listen to a couple of artists, listen to Bruiser Wolf. You're gonna get turned off completely. You won't understand the formula that he's using for that record.
Yep. What about you guys?
Derek, look, I have one, and it's Bori Rock and Beneficial Lord, Wiggy Wave.
Okay, yeah.
Bori Rock put out so many projects this year that it was very, very difficult to upkeep with all the records he put out, to the point where I'm not listening to any of them. First and foremost, because of the fact that he puts out the physicals, and buying every physical that Bori Rock puts out, basically I have no more money in my bank account.
Well, someone's got to make money.
But the great thing about Bori Rock, okay, and shouts out to Bori Rock and Feed the Family, is that he gives us the product for us to be able to keep, right? He gives us product. He sells his product. He sells his merch. It's not just, hey, I'm going to put out 5,000 projects this year and you won't be able to own it. He puts out the physical media on Bars Over BS. So I put his music to the side this year, and I was kind of like, it's too much. Now, at the end of the year where I have time to intake stuff, and it's January and not a lot of stuff came out, I went back to his projects.
Okay.
And this project, Wiggy Wave with Beneficial Lord, is an amazing project.
How long is that album?
It's about 31 minutes.
31.
Okay. It came out in August.
Yeah.
There's
August, wow.
featurings from Estee Nack, Aldovino, Dundee. I think Top Hooter is on it. The Hidden Character is on it. It's a really good project. And you know what? The Abyss podcast just did their top of the year, where they don't vote. It's basically the fans that vote. And this project came up in it.
Yep.
And they spoke about this project. And it gave me even more to want to go back and listen to it. And I really, really love it. I'm actually super pissed off that I can't own this album.
Well, it is what it is. I mean, honestly, if we would own every single album that we listen to,
we should
review at some point. Like, you listen to a lot of a certain type of music. I listen to.
We couldn't afford to be here today.
I live in a small 4.5 apartment. I don't have like one room to just throw all my CDs in. I just don't. But to get back to our point of things that went under the radar, it was almost on my list, and I remember telling Steven that it was almost on my list. It was Money Mowgli, Someone Poisoned the Medicine Man.
I didn't listen to that one
I
yet.
absolutely loved that project. I love that project. It had that sound, that moody sound that I like. I thought for a while it was 10, and then it was 11, then it was 12, then it was 9, but eventually it didn't make the cut. But I spoke to Steven about that one, and even Steven was a little surprised, like, oh,
I was
like,
blown
really?
away. I didn't listen to that. Derek, I knew it came up, but Derek made me go listen to it.
So yeah, for me, that was just replay value on that was really good. Money Mowgli released, I think 2 or 3 projects this year.
Yeah.
But that one for me just really, really stood out. And then of course, I got to shout out where I come from in terms of the metal. I have to say Living Hollow Avarice is a project I released early December. I sent that to Milenko.
Yep.
We're in the metalcore-ish community, like, of that album, very Lorna Shore inspired, but it's an EP. It's not a full album, but the guys, they came with it. They were hungry. It's loud. It's obnoxious. It blast beats all the time. They put a lot of different little samples and different little sounds that really like catch your eye. That's something that we haven't seen too much in the metalcore community. I think that album was just, yeah.
And you know what? Let me hop on. I didn't have this prepared at all. I didn't. It wasn't on my list. But an album, Deadcore, that really grew on me, released the same date, 31 for Halloween as Despised. Spite came out with New World Killer. They're coming on June 10. I'm gonna probably kill people in the mosh pit like I did for the Despised Icon
He
show.
disappeared in the Despised Icon.
Yeah, I know.
So it's fucking
I
hilarious.
saw that episode.
Yeah, I lost it. And I'm going for that. That's the New World Killer. That is so like old school deathcore. Those fucking breakdowns are just heavy. I feel like those guys are just doing breakdowns to be the most violent breakdowns you can get. And especially the single, when it finishes, he screams the band names before the end of and it gives me the chills all the time. Who does that? Spot! Like he yell his fucking the name of the band at the end.
I feel
and that
like
band it totally went under the radar for me. Now I just discover it, love it.
there's something about the metal community. I think hip hop does it to a certain extent of like Ransom's gonna drop an album and he's gonna drop a verse and it's gonna be like, oh, that's the verse of the year. And then there's someone else like, hold my cup.
Yeah.
You know, and I think hip hop this year, they came with it. Ransom had good projects, had good bars. Vega 7, listen, if there's anyone that's more barred up than him and has the most intricate pen in the game, it's got to be him. But like you mentioned, Malice dropped probably verse of the year. He had a great pen on that album. A lot of these artists come correct, and I think in the metal community, you get that as well. Of like, hey, this is the heaviest album we've ever done. And then another artist is going to be like, that's the heaviest?
Yeah.
Listen to this. And then you're like, oh, damn, I didn't know it was going to be like that. So I think 2025 was a good year for music in general. And I think, let's say we talk about mainstream for like 2 seconds. We had a new Chevelle project. That was really, really, really good. Linkin Park dropped the project.
Yeah,
that
you
was
like that one, right?
That was good. It was everything. There was a sound from all the little albums of Linkin Park. That was great. There's a lot of stuff that came out on the mainstream. Deftones came out.
Private
mainstream.
music.
Almost made another little list that we have later on in the episode. But we've had really, really good albums come out in the mainstream. Popular bands that haven't released music in a while have released music last year, and it was for the most part really, really good. Really, really good. Sometimes we get these artists, they don't release. Sometimes they lose touch a little bit with their sound or whatever. And then you have these artists that just take their sound and they elevate it. They make it more modern. And a lot of these artists came with it this year. And honestly, 2025 was it was a good year.
Good year.
It was
Really
a great
good
year
year
for music.
Yeah.
Do you guys any other album that grew on you or?
I don't think, the Rome Streets and Conductor Williams at the beginning of the year, Train Spotting.
I knew it. You guys didn't like that. Not
Look,
that you
and
didn't
that I
like
didn't
it,
like
but
it.
you guys weren't positive about it
I
that
wasn't
much.
positive
And
of
I thought it was
Conductor William.
great.
And Conductor Williams, if you listen to the New Abyss podcast episode of the top of the year, he was number 2 in producers of the year that people voted for. And that project is really good. Like, it grew on me like beyond belief. And I don't understand why I didn't love it when I first listened to it. And it was because of the production, because you can't take anything away from Rome Streets, because Rome Streets is brilliant.
So I would be curious to like be inside their brains in terms of how they vote for producers. And are you voting for a producer for the collaboration that he does with your favorite artist? And because you love that artist so much, you sort of get swayed in a certain direction? Or do you truly evaluate that producer only on him and only the beats, regardless of the artist?
I think it's so basically it's just the producer and what the producer did in that
But I'd be
given
curious
year.
to see if everyone reviews that way. We just spoke a little bit before on how our review process might be different, or what we add value to is a little different. I'd be curious to see when those people say that Conductor Williams was number 2, let's say. Is he number 2 because in there's 2 of their favorite artists that he collaborated with?
Could
this
be.
year? It could very well be. But when you look at the overall, you can't deny Conductor Williams overall had a really, really good year, regardless of who he worked with. Are all the beats our cup of tea? No. But he had a good year. And I think the only reason why for a lot of people he's number 2 is because Machacha's in the game. And when Machacha's in the game,
Machacha's number 1 across the board.
when Machacha releases 186,000 albums, like
With Malenko's grandmother.
It's coming
with
soon.
Malenko's grandmother, I'm waiting
Next
for that,
year.
2026.
2026 is coming soon. She's working on the bars right now, but she got a couple stories
Are we
going
gonna have some
on.
Spanish bars on there?
She's gonna have some Spanish bars. Well, yeah. Technically, my grandmother just talks Spanish, so there's no other.
Then she should try to sing English bars. That would be even better.
Yeah, I think that's my last one. And I'm, going back to things that came out earlier in the year, because those kind of get lost, like the Big Trip and Mallory Knox, Cry Baby. It's something I went back to, and I was just like, it stand out.
Oh, yeah. You saw, there's still albums. Man, we listen to a lot of music.
That's the
When
problem.
you
We
think
listen to
about
a
it,
lot of music.
Sometimes it just falls over, but yeah. And so now I wanted to talk about another little thing that we never did, and they always interested me, especially coming from how much we consume music. Sometimes we get attracted to an album just because of the cover, right? So I wanted just a little top 3 of your best cover this year.
Man, you know why I was super happy when you put this in the group chat and you bring up a good point. We get attracted by the cover, and something that artists do now that they didn't do back in the 2000s or back in the 90s is have an attracting art on their cover. It was basic. Remove Tribe Called Quest, remove that Wu-Tang cover, remove like those artists. Really go into like these artists where it was just basic, their face on it, or them with other people on it. There was never like that really big art form. And I find that the last, I would say, let's say 2010, that's when the cover art started to become more aggressive, more impactful, more, make a statement with it. And the last 3 years, like look at guys like Craig Dyer, Kip the Fog, Odd Mod Works, like those people making covers. It's like, oh shit, I want to just listen to this based on the cover. I don't care. Like, I don't care what it is. I'm going to put it on and let's see what it does.
How many times did it happen when we were kids? We're just going through vinyls, we're going through CD, and you're like, oh, this cover. I always remember this. This is a peek into my mind, by the way. When I was a kid, I remember going through CDs at Walmart. And I remember every time there was one CD that always, and I never got it. I only got it years and years later. 10,000 Days by Tool.
Okay, yeah.
We had the eyes on. I remember I was like, I've never seen an album like this in my life. I've never seen an album look like this that was like intricate artwork, that was interactive. It was insane. And now I felt like for a while we sort of lost it. We're also it's a product of the times as well. Things change. Sometimes a certain art is really like trendy for a while, and sometimes another one is really trendy. But now, like this year, in terms of all the albums that were released, we have everything from abstract photography to dark to
Paintings.
to painting to sketch to like a borderline aquarelle, sort of like watercolor kind of thing. We have the whole range. We've had Deftones, where it's just big and bold. It wasn't anything fancy. It was just like a bold album cover. And I think we're in a time where I think artists are investing in that. And I don't think there's been a single episode where we've reviewed an album where, if at least not even on camera, but together, we haven't spoken about a cover.
Yeah, exactly. It's
We
true.
always
Yeah.
talk about a cover on an
Yeah.
album all the time. And
Yeah.
at the end, we're always like, oh, and the cover. And
That's
then
why
we
I
always
wanted
make
to
noise
add it.
about the cover.
That's why I wanted to add it to the because it's really important. And just three. Just three.
Yeah.
I wanted music in general. What caught your eyes this year? Who wanna go first? You wanna go first, Steven?
Yeah, let me go first. And when I buy CDs, because I'm still buying CDs,
Mm-hmm.
unlike you two, when I buy the CD, the cover art needs to make sense to me. So when I look at it, when I get it in the mail, when I take it out of the packaging, I'm looking at it and I'm just like, fuck, the cover art is beautiful. I can't wait to add this into my towers, never open it, and just be able to remove the CD and look at the cover and look how beautiful it is.
And then you put it in your shelf and
Why
you
do
never
you,
look
why do
it
you have
back.
to make that sound so sexual?
Yeah,
Because it is.
It's
Because
awkward.
when you look at an album cover, it needs to be impactful. And to me, owning it.
Because it
and
is.
being
Steven's in his room next to the computer and he's
said
got a
because
box
it
of
is.
tissues and Vaseline and the computer has never seen porn. It's just albums. Albums are caked.
My room is very, very impactful. Have you been in it?
See, after I said the comment with the Vaseline and the Kleenex, I'll abstract for all comments.
Pause. Okay, so I'm gonna go with number 3 to number 1. Okay,
First of all, before you do that, real quick, how easy was this?
for me, piece of cake.
Oh, that was tough for me.
It was so difficult for me too, but
It
go
is a
ahead.
lot.
You know how easy for me like an artwork is? It has to have color. It has to make an impact based on visual, and if there's
gotta
wrestling
make you
in
hard.
it, and if
We established. No? Okay.
basically the new year is full of sexual commentary
Max.
by Derek. By the way,
It's a lot of me trash talking Steven. It happens in real life. Y'all are gonna get some.
by the way,
splashback
this
from
is
it.
the first time I met Derek. And if there's wrestling in it, you won me over right away. Okay.
Oh,
Easy.
so we sort of have an
Okay.
idea where that's
So-
going.
So number 3, Craig Dyer for action figure and Machacha, the most interesting man in the
Oh, that's
world.
a cool cover.
That cover with all the luchador masks and just action figure in a suit.
Yeah.
Just really there. I think it just makes an impact on like what the album is gonna sound like, and we're gonna just get different faces of action figure. And the way Craig Dyer adds his colors to it just makes it so interesting. Look, the title is the most interesting man in the world.
Yeah, you can't just have a red cover.
He
you know?
doesn't even write the most interesting luchador in the world. It's the most interesting man in the world, and it gets me so invested in who Action Figure is as an artist and who Machacha is as a producer. So Craig Dyer painted one of the best images I've ever seen. If we're gonna go to number 4, like a big shout out would have been Dark Side of the Ring to Craig Dyer. He reinvented the cover of Stone Cold and Vince McMahon.
That's a great one.
Incredible. So shouts out to Craig Dyer. Number 2 is 360 Bags for the Top Hooter and Machacha album, doing the RVD cover with the Feed the Family in the background. RVD is top 5 for me all time. You know that. You know Steven. You know Steven all time. You know RVD's in that top 5. You know I have the first ever RVD toy when he was with WWE. Just that cover made an impact. Does it have a lot to do with hip hop? Yes and no, but it has a lot to do with Top Hooter being that underdog and coming up and just being somebody like what RVD did in ECW.
And also, I think the value of having for that cover specifically, of having a super ultra limited, you can't buy it off the shelf.
That I bought.
It's a random draw for a lot of people. You need like a special case. They didn't make a whole bunch of them. I think a lot of times those covers are really impactful as well. And I think I'm looking around this new studio that we're in, and I see the boss. I see Big Boss right there, and I remember a Metal Gear album cover of last year, I believe. I don't remember who it was,
Yeah.
but there was a Metal Gear album cover, and I remember thinking that is the greatest cover of all time. If you could tap into my nostalgia and the things that I loved as a kid, you just made the list. Like you're gonna be on there. You're gonna be on there. I think Steven with RVD, that's the thing. I mean, with Metal Gear, Melanco probably has something. Maybe SpongeBob SquarePants. I don't know.
No, I hate it. But SpongeBob.
However, I will say, if some artists, if you're listening to me, if you release a SpongeBob SquarePants drug dealer cover, oh, you're gonna make the list in 2026.
Yeah.
But you know,
You just made the list.
I just made the list. Steven, number one.
Number one is Odd Mod Works. That's E from Bomb Mars Dow and Carl for
Nice.
the Primo Jab.
It is
and
a real nice
Hobgoblin,
cover.
The Revenge of Jab Goblin. Don't argue with me.
Yeah.
Don't at me. Don't send me a DM. It's the best cover in metal. It's the best cover in pop. It's the best cover in rock. It's the best cover in hip hop. It's the best cover in any genre. The colors, just the impact. You look at that, you have absolutely no idea what you're getting yourself into. And it's complete chaos when you press play on the album. The album is fantastic. It's number 11 on my list. But just the artwork and the way it was put together, just, again, impact, storytelling. What the fuck am I getting myself into when I press play? That's my top 3 of the year. Don't at me.
Derek?
So for me, I went a little bit of a different route.
Oh,
than
nice.
Steven. Steven likes. Steven strives on chaos.
Yeah.
Steven.
I love chaos. I'm full of
Steven
chaos.
loves chaos. Steven's like a little chaos engine with no hair. I think for me, I like an album cover that reflects the album that I'm about to go into. Like the cover of a book. Like the cover of the book has to sort of give me an indication on how the album's going to play out. And with that being said, my number 3 was Gollywog by Billy Woods.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
I love that album cover. It was a great album.
That's an album that was under the radar. Billy Woods. Come on.
Better than the Arm & Hammer. I know you like the Arm & Hammer. I don't like
Michael
it.
does like it.
Yeah.
It's not a bad album. But anyway, the Gollywog, Billy Woods, yeah. There's nothing to say. You look at it, it's the perfect blend of dark and creepy and twisted, but also like kind of like fun and goofy in a lot of ways. And I think it was a good setup for the album. And yeah, I just look at that album cover. I'm like, that's the kind of vinyl that I would expose personally. Number 2, and I spoke about this cover 100 times. It's Run Towards the Monster.
Oh,
Ty Farris, Apollo Brown. That cover is mind blowing. It's a piece of art. You remove the fact that it's associated with a hip hop album. That is a great piece of art to have, period.
Yeah.
It's dark, it's moody, it's twisted. It's what the album is going to be. It's what you get when you listen to the album. It's introspective, it's vulnerable, it's everything that you want from that album. That cover absolutely 100% delivers. Then my number 1. My number 1 is an interesting choice
Okay.
because I didn't necessarily enjoy the album, but I think the cover is the greatest cover of the year, and that's Train Spotting.
But yeah.
really?
I love that cover. I look at that cover and I sort of just get hypnotized. I just look at that cover and it sucks me in. It just pause. Or not, you know, I don't care.
Well,
Sexual
if
Derek in
if you're a
2026.
Yeah, if you're a Steven basement, it's good. it should be
Pause
fine.
on that one. I'll pause on that one. But the Train Spotting cover, just the fact that it's like that circle, like that like hypnotic circle. It's dark.
It
It's
is
moody.
a
It's
one.
very like vague and subtle.
It's a good one.
I love good art, and not necessarily art that like is a conversation. I like art that you could look at it and I could just catch something new every time. I like art that sort of like captivates me.
Yep.
And for me, all of the 3 that I've mentioned, you look at them and you're like, you want to look for more details. You're searching for the little details and the little nuances. And for me, that's what made my covers of the year.
Wow.
Wow, that's a great list. And you know what? We have one in common, and that's my number 3, Ty Farris, Runs Toward the Monster. We talked about on the podcast. There's nothing else to say. It's like a book. You know exactly where you're going to. It's dark, it's sinister, and that's the album. My number 2, Andre the Saint, the Black Teddy Santis. I think that was a great artwork. Is something that's a bit overdone, I feel like, but
Master Arson.
I feel like those type of covers are a bit overdone, especially in underground hip hop. There's a trend right now, but the way it's composed, the colors he picked, all the subjects of the album is on there. Loved it.
Yeah, Master Arson did a really good job with that cover.
Oh, definitely. Shout out to him. And my number 1, listen, I did the breakdown for this episode. I'm leading. I'm cheating.
Oh,
And my number one
know what
is
he's
this
going to.
Spice Icon sour. You fucking motherfuckers. This is me who set it up. I cheat, motherfuckers. I'm always been straight with all my lists. This one, I'm cheating. And this Spice Icon, I'm sorry. But I bought the vinyl and I don't even have a record player. I just have it as a wall art. That's how much the fucking cover
whole
art is dope.
jawbone as
It's
the
so
crown
dope.
is so
It's
hard.
the painting, the color palette of that fucking. And I'm totally biased because I love the band but I bought a $70 long sleeve T-shirt with that fucking cover
Oh,
art. That's how much I like it.
That's what was on the cover of your shirt?
Yeah, it's the cover of the album with the back with the title of the songs. I had to go with that.
I'm not gonna lie. Whenever you were like, we can maybe
for sure.
not go hip hop. That's the only album that came to the Deftones. I did have the
that
Deftones
green.
cover, the green cover with the
And
white.
I don't
snake.
like the album. I'm not a fan of Deftones. That cover is probably one
You
of
don't
the
like
greatest.
the Deftones album?
No. But it's not that I don't like it, but I've never been into the Deftones. You know what's my favorite cover of all time? That I always is Black Sabbath self-titled.
That's a great.
That's for me. It's probably the best cover all time. It's so dark and that's exactly the whole subject of the album. You grab that with no title and you're like, what?
This
the
is
hell
called
is
the
this?
all-time podcast. If we have to make a top 10 all-time covers,
I know what my number one is.
I need a year to prepare.
I know my
Okay,
number
so I
one.
just spoiled my number one.
You know what my number one is?
Shit.
Corn Untouchables.
Corn
Ooh, that's
Untouchables?
that's a good one.
With all the kids.
Yeah.
That is
That's
a
a good one.
That's a good one.
Okay, we should do that.
Yeah, I'm
we
down.
should do that.
New
2026.
metal in the 2000s had some sick covers.
Absolutely.
System of a Down,
Yeah.
the Chop Suey. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
yeah.
that's so
That's a
good.
great cover.
That's a
up.
great one.
Deftones
We can talk
around
about
the
it
fur.
for hours.
We'll have to do this list.
Well,
We'll have to do this list.
this.
Yeah.
Okay, so what brings me to another subject I wanted to open up about, like how we do the processing of these reviews. Do you have any ideas or anything that popped off your mind? Something that
So we're totally disorganized. That's number one, the way we do things, right?
I don't agree.
I think I'm very
I think
disorganized.
we're organized chaos.
So basically, for the people that are invested in us and all the listeners, and we appreciate you all. Basically, an album comes out, I get super excited about it, and I just
He
throw
goes
it-
to his room with his Kleenex.
Yeah.
and I go into and I go into the group
That's the
chat.
members only stuff. Steven's gonna send you some crusty Kleenexes.
and I go into the group chat and I basically say, guys, we got to review this album, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and then he proceeds to just spamming us. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna review this on the next episode. Oh, scratch that. We're gonna review this one. Okay,
Yeah.
this is the episode. Okay, no, this is the episode. That's Steven.
And then we'll be like, okay, this episode we're gonna review album A, B, and C. Okay, here's how we're gonna do it. So it's very organized chaos.
Yeah.
Look, we're trying to review as many things as possible. That's what we do. It's almost impossible to do everything. We try and keep it as positive as possible when we do it. The great thing about what we do is that when I send the album that we're gonna review, I know that we're gonna get a different aspect of the album from Derek, a different aspect from Malenko, and I'm basically just me, right? And that's basically what it is. Malenko has a lot to say also in what we do. He'll add his value to like, hey, I think we should do this instead.
I vetoed some albums.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie,
yeah.
because we don't like to dish out negative reviews.
But you know what?
especially from the underground. I'm not gonna say bad reviews. They work so hard on the album and it's art.
well, it's one of those things of, and I think
We don't lie.
I think it was John Cena on the Cody Rhodes podcast said something along the lines of once you give the art out, once the art is out, that art belongs to the world. You know, it doesn't mean that like you disagree with it. Art is very subjective.
Yeah.
You could disagree with it, you could not enjoy it, but the artist still invested his time and his effort into it, and it does have to be recognized. Whether or not you enjoy it, you have the respect of they're being respectful enough to invest their time and effort and put their heart and soul into music and into their art. I like to think I put my heart and soul into doing these reviews and doing these episodes with you guys. And I think treating the artist with respect is very important. It's not because you disagree with someone that you're going to start shitting on them right away.
Yeah, but we don't lie about things.
No,
number
we're
one.
honest. We're just careful and
Yeah.
measured in the way that we review stuff.
Yeah, but we have our honest opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say an album is good when it's shit, right?
No, but we're going to be constructive about it. We don't at least just bash an
Exactly.
episode for 30 minutes. We speak about some of the positives that we see in it.
Yeah.
You don't agree with everything that Conductor Williams does.
Yeah.
However, you're able to at least pinpoint one or two songs that you kind of enjoy or one or two beats that you kind of enjoy. You know?
We are not the podcasters that are just going to give you a picture of the album, a score, and not explain the reason behind it,
Absolutely not.
right?
Absolutely
And you
not.
know what? I love the fact that you and Malenko have a different opinion. Me and Malenko have a different opinion. We all have different opinions. I think it's the most important thing with being able to give constructive criticism or positive feedback
Yep.
on an album. And
Yeah.
you know what? I think that, we have a bunch of different artists that are on the pod, and I think they trust us in our feedback, or they trust us in what we do, because we do give the best reviews on albums. I'm sorry, that's just the way I feel. I think we deep dive and we do it in a correct way, and we do it properly. End of story. That's my point. What about you?
Yeah, me same. I think we're pretty good. I think I'm getting better with time. It's just how to describe music is something that English is not my first language, so
It's Chilean.
sometimes I have to find the words and trying to illustrate the best I can the sounds that I'm hearing.
You've gotten so much better since when I met you in 2017.
And yeah, thank you. And so that's pretty much. But I go through every album that we listen to easily 4 or 5 times. Take notes. Usually, I'm gonna take notes on the first listen.
Yeah.
That's the first listen is pretty much the most important. Always, pretty much always with earbuds or headphones. I never do a car speaker.
That's a good point of what he said. You listen to it in headphones, you listen to it in your car, you listen to it in different aspects of your life, you listen to it at work. And we never listen to an album, to Malenko's point, once and then review it.
Never,
We
no.
listen to it. I can't sit with an album and review it after one listen. I gotta listen to it 10 times.
We vetoed album because we didn't have enough time or like rescheduled them. We did a couple times.
Look, unless the artist sends us the album a good amount of time in
And thank you
advance,
for all those
and
albums.
thank you exactly to every single artist that sends us their albums beforehand. We appreciate that you trust us.
Mm-hmm.
We really, really do from the bottom of our hearts. It makes me feel good about my life and that I've actually done something correctly. But besides the point is, we won't listen to an album a couple of times. It's going to take us a week. And that's why we don't drop the reviews right away. It'll take 2 weeks after an album comes out.
Exactly.
Right?
And I think that's one of the problems in terms of the type of format and the type of content that we put out. There's a lot of people they want to know, what are the reviews for the movie that just came out? Or what are the reviews for the album that just came out? So you need to sit with a certain work. You need to sit with a certain piece of art. How many albums did we listen to that we, from the first listen, fell in love? There's a lot of albums that were on my list this year that genuinely grew on me. I had to listen to them 3-4 times, either to understand the concept that they were going for, either to catch a large enough volumes of the bar or the penmanship for me to be able to when I express my opinions about the album, not to sound like I know it all, but to at least sound eloquent, to not just give a review with just like the layman's term of just like being able to just express myself in a generic sort of fashion. A lot of people do that. A lot of people give those reviews and they don't really focus on the words and everything. It's kind of like off the cuff. I like to really, if I was an artist, how would I want people to speak about my art? I think that's very important. And it's not because we have a gangster rap album where he expresses himself a certain way that album doesn't warrant an eloquent review and us trying our best to speak and to shine a light on that album. And I think that's really important as well. I think that's why the artists send you the albums, because they trust you that you're not just going to dumb it down for people. You're a hip hop head. You express yourself like a hip hop head.
Yeah.
And I'm a music person. I express myself like a music person. Anyone could do this. Anyone could do the reviews. Anyone could talk about an album. But to speak about it in musical terms. I think the Abyss podcast does a really good job
Incredible
at that. I think
job
Carl
at
does
what they do.
a really good job at that. I think once you consume so much music or you play music, I think you are in a realm of you're able to express your opinions and you're able to pinpoint your opinions and what you like and what you dislike a lot better than someone who's a casual. And I think with time, I think we're only going to get better with these reviews. You know, we're going to speak about a little bit later on maybe some formatting things are about to change.
Yep.
And
They are.
I think in doing so, we're going to have to be a lot more precise, concise. Our words are going to have to be measured. We're going to have to really review these things ahead rather than just off the cuff. And I think that's just going to add to the value of the product down the line.
Yep. I
Yeah.
absolutely agree with you.
And I want to just add, the artists put in so much work on these projects, and the underground is flourishing so much. And I think a lot of these artists need attention on them that they don't get, and that's another reason on why we do what we do.
Yeah, they take the time to send you the albums. They take the time to sit down with you guys and do the interviews. They don't have to. They don't have to, but they want to talk about their art, and they don't want to talk about their art with just anyone. They want to talk about someone who appreciates the art. And even if you disagree, or even if you didn't enjoy it, they know that we're able to have an honest conversation and an open conversation about that project, even though maybe it's a project that maybe fell short or whatever. At least we're able to communicate our opinions in a respectful manner for them to want to talk to us about,
Absolutely.
you know?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
totally agree. You want to talk about 2026? What's up with us already?
Look, 2025 was incredible. I think it's probably the best year the podcast has ever had. Again, shouts out to all the listeners. Shouts out to all the artists. Everybody that just been involved with everything. The EVA that we went to, that we had the
That was fun.
opportunity
That
to
was really fun. And this
interview
is,
like Mean
Yeah.
Gene Okerlund.
yeah, and this is our first year. When you think about it, this is our first full year doing YouTube, and first full year going full throttle, as well as reviewing every week. So yeah, 2026 we're gonna do even more. So
2026, we're going to do it differently. And when I mean we're going to do it differently is I'm still your host, the Ayatollah, but Malenko is going to be the director of everything. And you know what? He doesn't want me to say this, but I'm going to say this anyways. Malenko has a very great vision on what he wants for the podcast. And I think his ideas and the way he brought them to the table make a lot of sense. So we're going to be reviewing albums individually. We're not going to be giving any more 2, 3, 4, 5 album reviews. It's going to be one review per episode. And I think that's a better way that we shine a light on that album so that people deep dive into that episode directly just for that album. We're going to be getting more, how do you want to call it, personal. We're going to be getting more in all-time top lists. We're going to give you more metal reviews. We're going to give you more metal top 10s, you know, stuff like that, right, Malenko?
exactly. Because for people listening, when I met Steven, one of the first things we were doing was we were showing each other artists or groups, and we would just tell each other, okay, tell me best Busta Rhymes album, which one you prefer. And we will always go back and forth. And because of the format of the podcast and the name All Time, they started the first season with this. Shout out to Steven.
The original Steven.
The original Steven. Shout out to him. So now we're going to take it back and going back to the all time and talking a little bit more about ourselves in the process. And that's going to be now our long content. So everything that's going to be a long content podcast are going to be our list. We're going to find different subjects every month. And we're going to go with those. And like Steven said, we're going to proceed now to do just one album per episode. It doesn't mean you're going to get less episodes. It probably means you're going to get more, actually.
Shit.
But you're going to be able to choose which albums you prefer more. And we're going to be way more, I think it's going to help us to be more direct.
Yeah.
And it's going to help us just to focus on one, get it out. And people that are looking for that one album are going to have it there.
Yeah.
So that's going to help us a bit.
More consistent. Like we have ideas already that we're shooting around, right? It's 2026. Fly God came out 10 years ago, right? Stuff like that, like Fly God 10-year anniversary. What are the top 10, top 15 albums from the underground or from that 10 years that really made an impact. It's just stuff like that. You know, like if Rock Marciano comes out with an album, we'll do like a top 5, top 10 Rock Marciano episode. You know, like like pulling it more from that area, you know, so we could just get more involved within the artist and what the artist is putting out. I think that's impactful. And just albums that like we go back to 20 years later. You know what I mean? Just crazy cool stuff like that. Just that, you know, more involvement. And you know what? A lot of the people that don't listen to hip hop or just listen to a certain style of hip hop might get into other different artists, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't, and we're not tied down to the fact that this is just music or just hip hop. You know, top 10 lists are for everyone. Everyone does a top 10 of all time. It was like, oh, what's your top 10 breakfast cereals of all time? We spoke about that. Everyone understands the top 10, the top format, the all-time format. I think that's such a blank canvas in terms of what we can do and what we can talk about, that by the time 2026 is done, you're going to have such a good understanding of who we are as people that we hope that you tune back in for us as the individuals as well.
They're probably going to hate us. But
Maybe,
it's okay.
maybe.
You can hate me all you want, my brother. I mean, the list
We're
is
into
going to be
wrestling
the
too.
same.
We'll play the heel roles. It's all good. Don't care.
We're still gonna produce and do whatever we want.
Yeah.
But thank you for everybody that's been listening. Again, when we do those videos now, we don't do it for no money. We don't do it, dude. If we do it for being famous,
I'm already famous. That's the thing.
yeah,
That's
fuck.
different.
We'll never do it for that
Steven
reason.
with the
I don't want
famous
no
receding
clout.
hairline.
We
By the
don't
way-
want no clout, baby.
2026, I'm shaving my
No,
head.
hey, don't say
I was
don't say
expecting
some shit.
implants.
I want to
Yeah.
get I want to get the implants just so I can look like Liam Gallagher, my favorite artist ever.
Yeah, so yeah, and a new logo is on
New
the
logo
way.
is coming.
New logo
logo.
is coming. We are finally the all-time podcast.
Is in full effect. We're removing Steven from the all time. I'm still the host. I'm gonna repeat that as we go because I'm still in charge of everything.
You're really doing it for being
I
fair.
mean, look, I'm basically Seth Rollins, and you guys are basically
So injured.
Injured all
You
the
are.
time. Yeah,
Injured all the
fucking-
time. Unreliable.
Yeah, unreliable.
I just want to have fun, man, and it's the same shit, right? We're still gonna be the same.
New social medias might pop off. You might see us in really short content now. We're trying to do that now. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be something new that I'm going to bring to the podcast. And yeah, again, thank you for everyone to been listening since day one. We really, really appreciate it. And that's it, man. I think we're ready for the sent off or what? You got something else to say?
No,
You
I
wanna
got
add
nothing
something?
else to say.
Derek?
You made the episode. I'm fine.
I think interaction. If you have any top 10 lists, any suggestions, any ideas whatsoever, send them our way. Send it through Steven. We'll be able to figure something out. We'd like to be a lot more interactive with our content. If you have any ideas that we don't have, send it our way. We'll absolutely listen. We'll absolutely review it. We'll love it. We'd love to do it.
Oh
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, don't be shy. We're still a really small community, so it's even better for us to just go and respond to you guys all the time. So yeah, don't be shy. Put your comments in. You know what to do on YouTube. You've been on YouTube, bro. So you know exactly what to do. You subscribe.
You subscribe and you like. And please do not forget. Sorry to interrupt. Trap is still here. He's just in a different country.
Trapzilla, shut out.
Trap Diesel is still here. Don't worry. He's still gonna be there. He's still gonna be smoking
On camera.
on camera. He's still gonna be part of it. Don't worry. He just doesn't live in the same country.
Facts.
On that note, Malenko, take it off.
Thank you, man. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I wish everyone a good 2026. Healthy, good music. And don't make out with your CDs. Keep it, please.
Yeah.
Please. just keep it.
PG-13.
That information, take it off your mind. Please.
Peace.
Thank you.